So today we're going to make a beautiful entree as mussels, right? And I went to the market early this morning and I bought these beautiful fresh mussels from the market, and they smell beautiful. They remind me of the beach. Won't tell you which beach, but it does.
Which beach?
I'm not going to tell you. Because in the old days it was a really cruddy old beach that not many people went to. So, and it used to have seaweed everywhere and it was just horrible. So anyway, but my parents liked it there because it was quiet.
Right.
And nobody bothered us. Because in the old days, being Italian wasn't that fashionable, not like it is today. And this is when we first came to Australia from Italy. We went to the furthest end of the beach.
How old were you?
I would have been 5 or 6.
Okay.
So that's that. And then a carrot.
You just said it was horrible.
Well, it was horrible in look because, you know, there was dry seaweed everywhere and there was the smell of the dry seaweed got a little bit pongy. But we all used to go out. We all used to arrive there with our trays of lasagna and fresh homemade bread and eggplants, stuffed eggplants, and then we'd lay this huge blanket out and we'd put all the food in the thing and on the beach, and I'm sure a lot of Italians of my age that were here would have done exactly the same thing with their parents.
While we were having Vegemite sandwiches and boiled eggs.
Well, yes. When I was at school, I shouldn't even say this. When I was at school, I used to make my own sandwiches, and when the other kids used to take their lunch boxes with, like you did, spaghetti sandwiches,
yeah.
I would be going with these beautiful salad sandwiches that I'd make, and sometimes with sun-dried tomatoes and all of that sort of stuff. And not only that, but I'd go into the garage and fill up a little, you know, the little plastic containers that everybody used to take
cordial in.
With cordial in it. Well, I used to take wine. So my friends and I would sit in the back paddock and have this fabulous feast for lunch. Now the onion cut up really finely as well, but it doesn't have to be as finely as that because I'm going to fry this up first. So that's that, and I'm going to cut up some chilies as well. I like lots. I actually tested these last night to see how hot they were because different parts of the season have different strengths. Sometimes you might buy some chilies and think, oh my God, they're so hot. And then the next week you go and buy some chilies and you put them in and it hasn't done anything because they're different times. Okay, so now I'm going to use my mussel pot. I only use this for mussels. Now I put probably about 1/3 of a glass of oil. Extra virgin olive oil. So there. Wait till that gets nice and hot. And there you go.
Did you just see me sneak away?
I did. What did you go and do?
What do you think?
I don't. You went to check to see if my lounge room was tidy.
I went to see why there was so much noise and you had the television blaring.
Ah, did you turn it off?
I worked out how to turn it off.
Right.
So that's where I was.
Right. Okay.
I haven't got anything intelligent to ask you.
Okay. Not unusual.
Thank you very much.
You always got nice things to say, Mark. Now I'm putting the onion in, nice and hot oil. When the onion breaks down a little, now I always like, whether I'm making pasta sauce or really anything, I like to caramelise the onions first, because the flavour of the caramelised onion goes through the whole thing. So there you go. That's that. Now, at this stage, I'll put the chilli in, carrots, celery. Now, with the carrots and celery, you've really got to cook that in, because at the end of the day, you really don't want to see lots of carrots and celery, because all you really need is the flavour, right?
Mush.
No, not mush. Like, Mark, don't talk about mush, because your experiences with mush, and I won't go into now, is monumental. Monumental. In my last episode, no, I think it was the second one, I can't remember, but I showed you how to make melanzane under oil, right? So, because my cameraman director doesn't go to the market, he shops at
Or cook.
supermarket, or cook that much, he, now, he had the video on, and then when it came to the blanching part, he thought to himself,
No, I Googled it.
Oh, yeah, you Google blanching. And Mr. Google said, well, you know, it can be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you know. So, he blanched them, boiled the living hell out of them, and turned them, not porridge, absolute mush. Then he didn't have the nerve to ring me and say, I had to ask him, you know. Anyway, what can you do? And then, you know what his response to me was?
No, what?
What, Mark?
I can't remember. What
You can't remember.
No.
Well, what you said to me was, well, I've decided I'm not a cook, I'm an eater.
Yeah.
And I think, oh my God. Now, while we're waiting for that, we've got 4 tomatoes, and I'm going to blister them with hot water so I can peel them. Because with this, you know, I really don't like tomato peel, the skin coming out in the dish. Cooking, cooking, cooking. Miscolando, miscolando. Right. Come on, water boil. So this is for afterwards. This is garnish.
This is what?
For afterwards, I'm going to put the spring onions, shallots, whatever you want to call them, just before I serve, right? So, I cut them on an angle so they look nice and pretty. I'll only use one. And garlic. The garlic I'm going to put in shortly. Now, jugs boiled. Blister the tomatoes, as Americans would say. So let them soak for a while. Now, the mussels I've cleaned and de-beard them, right? So, and the sauce is going to be not as flavoursome. It'll have the flavours of the vegetables and the chilli and everything else, but it won't be stunning till I put the mussels in, because the mussels will release their juices and then it'll be unbelievable. Anyway, it doesn't matter how you cut these because they're just going to break down and make sauce. But before I do put that in, I'm going to put the white wine in. This case is about 1.5 glasses. Now, you let the wine cook down till it's non-alcoholic, so you can feed it to children. And this isn't going to take you a week to post, is it?
It'll be done in a flat. What do you mean? The other ones were posted within 2 days.
Well, it's not good enough, Mark. You
I
get to
know.
post it the same day.
Yeah. Warts and all.
Warts and all. Oh no. Right. So that's ready for the tomatoes to go in. So, as soon as the tomatoes are broken down, I'm going to then put the mussels in. So, miscolando, break up the tomatoes. Now, I haven't put any salt in it yet, and you know I go on about salt, but today I'm not going to use very much salt because the salt in the water of the mussels will be okay, but I'm just going to put a couple of little sprinkles. I'm going to my garden to get some parsley. And that'll be for the last minute. Back in a minute. Now what I'm going to do is put the stalk parts in first, because they can break down. They'll give me part flavour, but they'll just break down a bit. So the tomatoes are cooked down. I've put some salt. I've got chilies in there, but I might put a couple of rounds of pepper in as well. Why? Because it's there. And it may give a little bit more flavour. It's breaking down really, really well. So now I'm going to put the mussels in. So all you do is drop them in, like so, mescolando a bit, like so, and put the top on. Basta. Cut. To have with that, I bought some from the market again this morning, some sourdough bread which I'm going to toast, and it'll be wonderful just to dip it in. Now, so the whole point of doing this short video, hopefully, is to just show you that this is a very simple entree. If you put this on the table, and you can put it in, take it in pot and all, and that's why I like using this pot, because I can take the whole thing to the table, right? Once the bread is toasted, I like to rub a little bit of garlic on it, as if there's not enough in there, I like even more. So, like so, but we'll do that when it's ready. Yeah. See, all of a sudden now, the tastes or the smell of the seeds coming back.
Oh, I can smell it from here.
It's just wonderful. Now, I'm going to put the top back on just for a little bit more till they open up more. And then I'll take the top off, because if you leave the top off, it'll evaporate, which I don't really want, because I didn't put too much liquid in it, apart from the large glass of white wine.
A half a bottle.
That's all I put in. Now, and as I say to everybody, taste as you go.
And
you know?
and do you know what?
What?
I've never seen you taste yet. No, in all these recipes.
No, you know why?
Because you're so good.
I'll tell you why.
Yeah.
If you put the good things in, the taste will be good, right? There used to be a saying: you put the taste in, you get the flavour out. Right?
In other words, there was still flavour in my eggplant mush.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yummy. Yummy, yummy gumdrops. So,
what is Italian for yummy?
Gustoso, bellissimo, spettacolo. There's many ways of saying it. So, now,
So really, how long does it take for them to open?
well, they're starting to open now.
Mm-hmm.
Normally, I take them out, which I probably should, in fact I will.
Yeah, but you haven't answered the question.
What's that?
How long does it take?
How long is a piece of string? No, it all depends on how big the mussel is. You know, if you have a whole group of small mussels, it takes less. If you have a big pot of mussels like I've got here, it takes a little bit longer.
It's the eye.
It's this and the tongue.
Oh.
Taste and see, you know.
Aye.
I despair, honestly. So I'm just going to take out the open ones, which will give space for the unopened ones to cook. Although they're pretty much all open. No, they're pretty much all open. So there you go. So now, turning off the heat. Turn off the heat. Chop up the parsley. Put the bread in the toaster. Because my cameraman and director is such a guts, I have to cut more bread. Because there's a lot of mussels to go through. And honestly, this would be enough for 4 or 5 people, you know. So if you're having, this is very simple to make. So if you're having a dinner party,
Could I make it?
you, no,
Okay.
I wouldn't trust
No,
you to make
no.
it. So, you know, if you're having a dinner party, just put it at the centre of the table with a big spoon and a ladle in it for the soup and bowl of crusty bread and beautiful. And in the next video, I'm going to show you how to make a proper bruschetta. Not bruschetta, bruschetta. The authentic tavola povera way. Which means, you know, when we were living in Italy and we didn't have a lot of money or anything virtually, you had to use what you had on hand. We had tomatoes growing, we had onions growing, and all that sort of stuff. So you just use what you have and you eat seasonally. At this stage, they're done. Now, because when I cook the carrot and the celery and onion and garlic, they've all broken down, but I didn't use a lot of oil because I wanted them to caramelize and stuff. So now, what I'm going to do is put a little bit more olive oil. Like so. This has got a very fine snout, so not much comes out. So there. And mix. Actually, that's off the heat now, so I'll bring it here. So, there. Beautiful. And they've all opened up. Toast is ready. Toast is done. Now, I'm going to put the onion in first. Give it another mix.
Mixolando, mixolando.
Mescolando. Sempre mescolando. And then parsley. Allora, la storia è finita. The story is finished. We can now eat. So what I'm going to do is serve up in a plate. Now it may look like a lot, but really it's not. It's mainly shell. Putting in my plate. One. Now I did say that this was, if you're having a dinner party, to have this as an entree, and it's enough for six. It's enough for 6 people, but this is going to be our main lunch. So, you know, there you go. So that's 2. And with some crusty bread, lunch is ready. And